Hey, what's up guys? It is I, Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So sorry it's been a while, I've been working a lot and trying to get back into the flow of it. So what I want to talk about today is something that I was asking help with subscribers for, and this is various members of the community offering their opinions on how Soul Calibur 7 can improve upon Soul Calibur 6. So let's listen to them, and then I will tell you my thoughts at the end of the video, so stay tuned till then, and I'll check you out later.
Hello everyone, this is Maki. Mark asked me to record my opinions for a video on how I think that Soul Calibur 7 can improve on Soul Calibur 6. Now, as far as new innovations to the game go, I'm not so sure, but I can take inspiration from previous games and say what I might like to come back from them. For example, first of all, I would like there to be more characters in the base game, which I don't know how likely that's going to be, because obviously that reduces chances for DLC for them. But I mean, certain characters that were in the DLC, like Wang and Terra, you know, staples to the series, I would like to see them in the base game without DLC. DLC, I think, can be used to introduce maybe some guest characters or some fan favorites that maybe are not so well known, like Lilong. The second thing I would like is for two-player character costumes to return. Please, I really want this back. It was so much fun looking at the difference in costumes and seeing how they had changed and seeing another aspect of the character and their personality. I did like the fact that you could make your own custom two-player and, you know, multiple other player outfits for the characters using the Creator Soul engine, but I still think I would like the two-player and three-player outfits to return. Maybe, I don't know if I'm asking for too much, but with the option to add more customizable player outfits made from Creator Soul. Then the third thing I would like to return is cutscenes, animated cutscenes. Those were really fun, like the ones in Soul Calibur 3 and Soul Calibur 4. I didn't necessarily dislike the whole visual novel aesthetic of Soul Calibur 6, but I do miss the cutscenes. I know they're more expensive to make and time consuming to make, but I would like to see a return of those for the 6th installment. I would also like to see more stages. I miss the days when each character would have their own unique stage, and those unique stages that were for each character, they added another layer of personality, and you could determine more things about the character. So I would like a bigger variety of stages, maybe even more stages in DLC. As wonderful as the stages in Soul Calibur 6 were, I would like to see more of them for Soul Calibur 7. And I would like little things to come back, like the museum mode where you could play the different voice lines from the characters. That was fun, and I definitely want joke weapons to come back. I know they were silly, but those were really fun to have. So I would like the ability to purchase the different weapons as well for each character. I felt like maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't really see those in Soul Calibur 6, and definitely not the joke weapons. I would like those to return for sure. Yeah, that's all that I can think of off the top of my head. I never really played the competitive mode, but I heard that there were some problems with the servers there, so another thing they could definitely do is improve on that. Add more constant updates and look at the servers more to improve competitive play. I think that's all that I can think of right now, but thank you so much for having me on, Mark.
Hello there everyone, this is Matt, or Solar Flare if you prefer, and I'm here to share with you a few ideas I had on how I think Project Soul could really improve Soul Calibur 7. One such idea I had is in regards to the stages. While I did enjoy some of the stages we got in Soul Calibur 6, I felt like they were all a bit too bland and generic. You know, generic desert, generic grassland, generic forest, etc., with not a whole lot really going on in them. Well, for Soul Calibur 7, I would like them to add more unique locations as stages. For example, maybe some kind of beach stage that has waves crash along the shore as you fight. Or maybe some kind of village stage that's being raided by bandits or malfested, and you have people running for their lives and all this chaos happening around you, and maybe a huge fire that gets more and more out of control the longer the match goes on. Also, speaking of the stages in Soul Calibur 6, we didn't really get that many of them. I would really like them to go back to what they used to do in games like Soul Calibur 3 and 5, where each character had their own unique stage. Another idea I had is in regards to the race system introduced for character creation in Soul Calibur 6. While I thought this was a really cool idea, I felt it was very poorly executed, with a lot of gear and equipment being locked behind certain races and genders. Well, in 7, I would obviously like them to remove this limitation and have all gear and equipment available for all races and genders. On top of that, adding gender options for the races that didn't get any, like the lizard race, for example. Also, while I'm grateful that they eventually added the option to turn off the armor break feature, I was pretty disappointed that you had to do it for each individual character separately instead of it being a universal option. Well, for 7, I would obviously like them to make it a universal option, not only for created characters, but for the regular cast characters as well. Speaking of the regular cast characters, I would really like them to go back to what they did in Soul Calibur 4, whereas instead of your own created characters and customized cast characters sharing slots, each cast character would have their own separate set of slots, so that way you wouldn't have to worry about your own created characters as well as your custom cast characters taking up all your slots. My last idea I had is in regards to the presentation of the dialogue and cutscenes in modes like Libra of Soul. Now, I completely understand people's frustration with this, as all the dialogue was really just tiny black text on white backgrounds, and as someone who has bad eyesight, I completely understand why people would be frustrated with this, as that text is very small and hard to read, even for someone with good eyesight like my brother, for example. And well, if you're not going to add fully animated CG cutscenes, as I can understand, that can be a bit expensive. An easy fix would just be to add voice acting to the text, so that way it would be a lot easier on people like me. And those are just some ideas I had. Thanks a lot for listening, and talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Hey, my name is Hana Kokoro from the Discord server. Mark Yoon asked me to share my thoughts on Soul Calibur 7, or at least a potential one, and how it can improve from Soul Calibur 6. I'm going to mainly focus on the stages, the character roster, the costumes, and snippets of the main story. So here I go. The stages, I would love them to be like the number of stages to be more, like at least 20 to 25, give or take. I would love to see some returning stages, like the Temple of Eurydice, a Wolf Krone stage, the Coliseum stage from Soul Calibur 2 and 3, but with like a more live audience. I would also love to see the final boss stages from Soul Calibur 2 and 3 to return as well, because the main story will probably take place around that time. And yeah, I would also love to see some new stages, like to represent the diverging timeline, like stages that represent the astral chaos, or like stages that like look like cracks in the universe are like appearing. I also would love to see like interactive stages, like make the stages interactive, not in the levels of Dead or Alive, but like instead of a ring out, you can just like you end up in another part of the area to continue the fight. And like the day and night cycles was great in Soul Calibur 6, but I would love to be expanded upon and just like see how it can transition during a round. In terms of characters, I would love to see every character from Soul Calibur 6 to return, as that roster was great, and I would love and the DLC characters were great too, and I feel like those DLC characters, especially Huang and Cassandra and Hilda, are going to be important in the main story of Soul Calibur 7. I also want to see some returning characters from previous games like Yoon-Sung, Li Long, Rock, Lizard Man, because Lizard Man was not playable in the original Soul Calibur 6. And I want to see him return, probably with either dual axes or axe and shield. Rock, if I mentioned him already. Zwei and Viola as well. They might be younger in Soul Calibur 7, but I would love to see them return as playable characters, because they were mentioned in the story and in lore as well. I would love to see new weapon styles. I'm going to be brief on this. I would love to see new weapon styles like steel fans, a large shield like in Fate Grand Order with the Shielder character. I also love to see like characters who use alchemy. Maybe a Shinto priestess as a character, or like characters from Africa, Egypt, the Middle East, maybe in Mesoamerica as well. Just like a lot more diverse characters to show like everyone around the world is interested in Soul Swords. In terms of costumes, I would love to see more culturally accurate costumes, especially culturally Korean accurate costumes for Hwang and Sungmina, because some of their costumes look a little more culturally ambiguous. Sometimes they're going to more Chinese inspired costumes, so I feel like I wish they put in more Korean inspired costumes for them, like Korean culturally accurate costumes for Hwang and Sungmina. I would love to see more alternate costumes for each character, like in previous games. I know they can't do that, but it would be nice to show like how these characters diverge from their alternate timeline, from the original timeline, into the new timeline introduced in Soul Calibur 6. And that's about it. I'm really excited for a possible Soul Calibur 7, and I would like to thank Mark Yoon for asking me to speak on my thoughts on it. Bye.
Alright guys, I want to thank everybody who actually submitted to me and gave me their thoughts and opinions. It is very hard to allow yourself to be on camera, whether auditorially or visually, so I really appreciate them being brave enough to do that. Comment sections can be rough, so be nice in the comment section and be sure to thank them for their opinions, and give me your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. Now, I've made countless videos on how Soul Calibur 7 can improve upon its predecessor, and notwithstanding, I think the easiest way to go about this would just be giving them more budget. So if that's the actual bad answer, I mean, I have over 600 worth of videos of you guys to peruse through at your leisure to find out other ways that I think we can actually improve upon the game. But for now, that is going to be today's video. I want to thank you for watching until the end. If you did watch until the end, the secret word of today's video is Valdo's mother. So type Valdo's mother in the comment section down below to let me know that you finished watching this entire video, and first comment to do that will get a heart from me and also be pinned. And any and all thoughts are always welcome in the comment section down below, guys. And as I always say, I love it, thank you,
and thank you.